Train Sim World. Sorry for not doing it yesterday. I'll do it today. Any video I don't get round to doing on the set day I normally do it, I will get round to do it. Normally the following day. Sorry, let's turn it off. Otherwise, where was I? Oh yeah, otherwise on the following day or on the weekend where I designated catch up. So I feel like I just keep apologising for every time I miss a day when I do a video. So I thought I'd just like tell you guys, don't worry, the videos will come. Just some days, it's just some days I forget to do it. Some days I don't have time to do it. But you know, but at the end of the day, I always make sure I do it. Either the next following day or in the weekend where I've designated it to be it. I just feel like I keep saying this over and over again. So the next time a video doesn't come out, I apologise, but I'll make sure it does come out before the week's up, before Monday comes around next week. And then I think if by then I would apologise. So yeah, I have to do all my videos, Train Sim, the Roman numerals, Honey Badger Live, tour and explore in the video, not broadcast, downtime Minecraft, Thrillsville, why not, and then Firewatch, why not too. I make sure I get all those done during the week or at the weekend, because I'm just going to keep on being a broken record at this point. Keep apologising for days I miss doing. But there is also another solution to this problem. For any of you guys wondering, oh, it's Monday. Normally get Train Sim on a Monday, or oh, it's Wednesday. Normally get Minecraft. If any of you guys don't wonder it, that's fine. But any of you guys do, there's a little bell icon. So yeah. Oh, I don't know. I had this bell for some time. I also have a big bell as well. And it was been hidden behind some old birthday cards. And yes, I have old birthday cards hanging out. Yeah, some of those decorations on those cards, man, are pretty. Anyway, I brought this bell ages ago, but I thought it would be really funny and cool to ring the bell, so you know to get notified. Because I remember when I first did this train series on my live streams, I used to play the piano. If you remember that, remember the early days? Badly, I may add. With the announcements, like make a little jingle, and I always like to find new ways to bring my videos to a better high quality grade. You know, more people who watch this, the more improvements I need to get. I'm going to put the bell down before I ring your ears off. So yeah, there's not much I can do because I broadcast now instead of recording videos, so I don't have to worry about editing and stuff. I do thumbnails for my broadcast. Check out those images. They are my own penmanship by using the computer graphics. Yeah, so it you know, all I have to do is press live stream record and off we go. Anyway, that's enough chitty chat for now. Let's say what we're doing today. Train Sim, we are going to go from Grain Thames Port. So we're picking the train up from Acton Main Yard from Great Thames Port, what's a port in London, to Brimley Hill, Brimley Hill. What I think is outside of Bristol. I'm not sure. Anyone know? Comments down below. Put it in the chat. So yeah, and then we're gonna drop the train off at Reading as always. And then next week, I think, looking down at it, I think the next one I think will be this one here. I'll find out what that says, and then the last one, and then that'll be it. I can't see any other routes we haven't done yet. Got Dagenham Docks, Bristol Temple to, yeah, not many differences, but this one's different. London, there's a London Gateway. That's different. The medals are not being counted, even though I got the medal. I think some of those medals will only be counted if I do journey mode, not timetable mode. I think some of these are on journey mode, so that's why we're not getting the medals, even though I got medals. Anyway, let's press select and we'll load up the scenario. There's not much difference in these scenarios apart from going from A to B and then B to A. They don't change. The only thing that changes is the daylight. Of course, I changed the weather according to what is in real life in my location. At the moment, looking out the window, I can see fluffy clouds and blue sky. So, if anyone's anywhere where it's raining or snowing, if you live in the Antarctic or Canada or Russia, then yeah, I think at this time of the year most people are having either sunshine or rain. I don't think many people are having snow, so yeah. Anyway, so stick that into forwards. Have the cab light on. Headlights are on day. Brake off. Oh, a minute. I think the reason why we've always had trouble getting the train going, parking brake was on, I think, because if I do this, I've just applied the parking brake. Brake override button. Uh-oh. Oh shoot, I did something. Brake, override, over. Uh. Uh. Restart the train. I'll show it as we restart the train. I pressed the button I shouldn't have pressed. Hmm. I've been thinking Minecraft tomorrow. We're gonna go and find some dark oak wood to make the fish shelter. We're basically just making stuff now and not crafting stuff. Me and the fact is the Caves and Cliffs update came out a while, well, probably at least a month now. I've been thinking, why don't we do a couple more episodes in survival, then we'll start a new series in creative. It took me a while to get those. Did take me a while to get those mud. It's just the fact is the Nether itself. Doesn't have a fortress to get to an end, and I probably could show that in creative because we could switch to survival. It does mean I can't get any more trophies. If you go into creative, you can only get trophies in survival. It's just I feel like apart from some updates, I kind of like done everything. I think I don't know. I think that'll be a tomorrow idea, but I just had a thought while I was waiting for the thing to reload back in. Maybe we'll change it up a bit. We'll have a think tomorrow. Anyway, let's not break the train this time. Let's try again. But yeah, if I press parking brake release, see the BC in braking. So if you see the speedometer, look to the left. It has numbers, okay, in black and red, with a 3.4, 3.3, 3.7 and 9.5. If I press this button, nothing happened. Wait, if I release the brakes like this, that's at 0. Huh. got a bit of glare. Bring that down a bit. And it's quite warm, so I have the window open as well. Huh. Well, we're moving. I think it was the weight, really. I don't know, it's just beforehand it's just not moved before, so it's nice to know that maybe you do have to click it. I don't know. Bring that all the way down so we don't get glare coming through this window. Let's have a look. See what it will look like. That's what it looks like. It's like winking. Another thing I noticed, see that green bar next to the brake bar? I think that's the amps per minute, and with that one, whenever you do tutorials, it always tells you don't pull away too quickly to bring strain on the axles, the couplings in between the locomotive and the carriages slash freight cars and the other ones, so you don't snap the joints or anything. So when you build up speed, don't let it go. If I do that, it might go over and go yellow or red, so that'll bring strain on it. So you want to make sure that you don't bring strain. So you want to, when you're building up pressure, you don't want to pull away too quickly, otherwise you can break the coupling rods or bring strain onto the coupling rods. Spin a bit. So when we're like at 0 and 10 miles an hour, you want to ease her in slowly and then whack the speed on. Now this thing is the rev counter, or the amps per minute. This shows me, so you don't want to rev the engine too much, or the ampage meter. Like when you're in a car, you know, you put the lower train. Wait, where's the horns? This one. That's loud. Oh, I love that. I like the lower one. When you ever press the L3 button, you'll only get the high horn. But if you do it manually, you can bring it down below. Oh, you actually normally you can just flick it. trying to do the England football chant. Oh, zoom in. That work. You should only use the horn when the signs say to blow the horn. I just wanted to blow at him. Just blow at the train. Oh yeah. So amps or revs. So when you put the accelerator down on the car, the power, as Jeremy Clarkson would say. If anyone from the UK knows who that is. Some people around the world don't know that. But anyway, got the revs. So this is a bit of a grey area for me, but the revs is how much the engine itself is working. So when you put a little bit of power down, you only need, put a little bit of the gas or acceleration. It moves a little bit, so the revs itself will be very stable, very low, but more of it, and it'll go up, and you want it to go up gradually. If you put your foot right down, that's where you hear the car go noise, and that's where you got high revs, and you're over revving the engine, where the things like tell you, oh, go 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 go. And yet making all the springs and sprockets and whatever pistons move quickly. So with the train, it's the same thing, except for instead of revs, it's amp. So you're using a bit of electricity. If you put it in the revs, you're going to overrun the engine, and the train could overheat if it's a diesel engine, or you can short circuit it if it's electric. So you always want to keep it in the green, but excuse me, if I zoom here it's doing 3.7 revs, sorry, it's doing 3.6 now. It's just gone down slightly. It's doing 3.6 amps per minute. So yeah, I never really zoom in before because I just need to keep an eye on the signals, but the AWS is telling me what the signals are. If I hear then I know. Wait for it. There's a green light, but listen. Alright, come on. Where is it? That's there. This one here. I know that it's all green, so I'm looking down. I know it's all green, all clear. Oh, there's a DWS thing. Oh. That one's yeah, we're on the move. I can't really see here. I heard a so I just turn around to see what it is, and it's just a signal thing. So, yeah, normally I just look at the signals. Normally I just set the train up by putting the forward, putting the power on, turn the brakes off and off we go, lights and all that off for this particular train. But I don't really look at this speedo itself. Normally it's right in front of you, but this one's onto the right a bit. This one is the brakes. It's probably because the freight takes longer to slow down, so that's why it has brakes here. But normally I sit back, look at the signals and slow down if I need to. With a freight train, it's point to point, so I don't have to worry about slowing down for stations. You know, normally when I do stations, I do point to point to point to point instead of point to point and multiple points. I look at the left hand side where the clock is at the moment and the destination. Now that says what time I have to be there by that doesn't matter what time I have to be there, but then after that it says location at stop at this location, and it's ready in 22 miles. And normally with the passenger trains it's like 1.5, 0.4, 2 miles. So I'm more paying attention on that and the signal than the speed. And the speed is also important, but normally trains are quite good to keep into speed. And normally I have to go right to the red line. What on the speedometer, the maximum speed for this line, even for freight, because sometimes it's different for freight, is 125 miles an hour. The white bar indicates I'm doing 80, and the numbers saying I'm actually doing 79. So I've got 3 speedos. Woo, summertime. No, I've got 3 speed indicators. I've got the 2 lots of analog, where the on the dashboard itself, down here it says I'm doing 79, almost hitting 80. This train revs out at 75. We see it's got a little red marker, so I'm actually pushing it a bit. Yeah. In real life I probably wouldn't go past the red marker, but since it's a game it's not a big deal. And then I can go all the way. This train maxes up at 100, but it never gets that far. Maybe if I haven't got stuff on the back, but I've got stuff on the back. So then I've got the little, the white line what tells me what speed it is, but then I also have it down in big letters. It says 79, and I normally look at that whenever I'm driving a car. Well, I'm learning to drive at the moment, but whenever cars I've been getting into to have a feel for see which ones I want to buy. I'm hoping to buy one soon actually. I'm still trying to get some money together so I can pay for it, but that's my own personal life. I always look at the digital layout instead of the analog. I call anything like this analog, and then that's digital, because like on a clock you always have analog time where it shows you with the 2 hands, it says 1:45 and 1/2 and all that, what clocks are, hopefully. And you got digital clocks where it actually shows you the digital, because it's electronic normally, and it will show you the actual numbers. And I prefer digital better. If I have to look at analog, I will, but my eyes go to the numbers because I can see as clear as day that I'm doing 79. If I look at that one on the, if I look at the actual white bar, it looks like it's doing around about just over 80. And if I look at the panel down here, it does say 79. So speed to me is not a big thing, because the little red marker, the red line, if I go over that, then I'm speeding. Also, with the digital one, it shines yellow when I'm just slightly speeding, and it shines red and has a little triangle when I'm over speeding. In real life, you wouldn't have this. You know, you'll have the analog what's on the dashboard. So, no two. So yeah, I don't think in settings you can turn that off. I think now, driving the HST, the Turbo, and now the Class 66, the Shed, I know the train well enough to not have that, because it helps with the revs, but if I can find it on here, the thing is, when it comes to the trains themselves, I don't look at that or that or that. Another thing is, I'm zoomed out, okay, and to see it clearly, okay, I have to zoom in to see it clearly. In real life you can probably see it fine, but as more further out I get out, zoom out wise, it gets a bit blurry, so I can't see the needle, where it's exactly pointing. Yeah. You know, so I kind of like, it's kind of like scenery at this point, you know, and as I said, I more look up the thing there. So if I want to make sure I'm not speeding, I probably would, you know. Also, if I only wanted to do 3 miles an hour in a little wash yard, I would not able to tell. It only goes up to like 5, you know, then 10, 20, and then 25, 30. You know, if I had to do, let's say 15, it would be there, but zoomed out it'd be hard to see. You know, I don't need glasses. I don't wear glasses. My eyesight is really good, but even I struggle to see that there. I can see the 10 and 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, but the in-between ones, because there is no clear indicating number, and I don't think they do, it'd be very hard to tell. I don't think you can. If we just quickly pause, I only got 40 miles. I got broadcasting lost for ages. God, without the noise of a train, I've probably been shouting a bit. I've got chunky headphones on, and all I hear is a of the train. It's very loud, and when it pause like this, I'm like, oh, sound! I can hear birds again. If I let's have a look. Button. I wonder if that's it, actually. Button program on. Let me see if I turn that. That takes away what the items are, so I actually it tells me, oh, we'll have that back on, even though I know wherever it is. You know, it's nice to know where everything is. Now, that's what that does, it removes the labels. Huh. mile percentages, miles per hour. Temperature should be degrees, not Fahrenheit. Destination, that's off. Small. Objection marker off. Stop marker off. Next speed limit marker off. Next signal marker off. Next speed limit on hub on. Next speed, next signal off because we don't need that. Next signal approaching on. That's what's this? Oh, credits. Next signal assist. If I turn, see what happens if I turn this one off. Okay. And then back on. Because the idea is, I think, with Train Sim, there's loads of different routes and locomotives to try out. But as you get familiar with the new trains and the routes, the best thing, like we're doing all this timetable stuff, the best thing to do is to turn off the assists, because it's like any game. You have easy for you just want to know the story really. Medium, you want a bit of a challenge. You want to challenge yourself. It's normal mode. It's not too hard. It's not too easy. It's just right. It's Goldilocks. Then you got hard mode, what's like very challenging, but and then very hard would be like what? Very very hard is what it is. Very hard, and it's more like the Call of Duty games would be like realism. You get shot, you're dead. Like easy mode. If we take a Call of Duty game for example, other shooter games are available. In easy mode, you can take a lot of hits from the enemy soldiers. You won't go down. You will go down, but medium, you'll take a couple of hits. Hard will take a few hits, and then one hit will be drop down dead. Right. So if I turn off these, it's the same with Train Sim. Like I've taken off the signal HUD because I got the AWS on the British ones. I'll probably bring it back up for the German and American ones, especially the American ones. The American signals, for me personally, are the worst because they're so confusing, and I don't know what they mean. I've tried to look on YouTube to know what they mean, and there's like you can get red signals and then a green signals underneath. And normally red means stop, but if there's a green underneath and it's flashing or something, it means that you can but go at a slower speed. like it's just too confusing. I'm just gonna dabble with these and see if they do anything. No, they don't do anything. Turn. No. I could read it, but well, I can't read, but I could get. Normally, I get something like Google Translate to type it out, but I find using that is unprofessional, even though it really helps. Audio journeys log off. No. No, they're all on. That's controls. Audio. Oh, you got subs on. Well, I have turned down master volume down. Well, in real life, if a train's really loud, then it's really loud. There's nothing you can do. But the sound itself is pretty good in my ears. What about this one? What about this one at the very top? No. Oh, a minute. Can I? Oh, can I have a speed in direct in hub symbol large or small? If I go large, what does that look like? That is quite large. You can't turn it off. That was really bad. So, Helmet. I want to keep that on because knowing when I go around, knowing where the buttons are, is quite helpful. Also, it's good for you guys to see what I'm clicking on as well. So we'll want that on. I think all of those are because we're not I'm not American, so I don't need Fahrenheit. I don't need we use miles per hour, not kilometers. Also, it changes anyway if you do have a train. It does say kilometers. The destination journey display. What is that if I turn that on? don't know. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Terms and conditions, view X. I'll keep that off then. Small objection markers which tell me when the next objection is. I'll turn that off because, like, stopping markers, we turn it off because we want to go by the boards. If anyone wants to know what like next speed limit markers are or signal markers, let me just turn them on. I'll do the signal ones just for now. It'll show me when the next signal is. What is all the time, and they come up in big. Like, for example, if I turn ejections, no, ejection marker, signal marker, speed limit marker, signal. Oh no, we will not do speed because I won't show up until we're close by. Well, we might do actually. So yeah, signal marker, next speed limit marker, ejection marker. We'll do that. Oh, I didn't press apply. Oh, yeah. Ejection marker, next speed limit marker, and signal marker. If I turn all those on, apply, it will pop up that, so that's why I removed it, because you can't see anything and it's annoying. So I have that off, that off, that off, that off. Next. Okay, let's go through these just to double check. I don't know what it says. That's to show what they are, but we said we'll keep that on so you can see what I'm pressing. All these should be the same. Gradient unit fit. I don't know. Gradient is how I got percentages. What's that look like? I didn't change. Still says percentages. Oh, because like one. Personally, I think keep that as it is. Whether it should say degrees, a little C for degrees when it comes to temperature. And then, oh look, we can actually adjust it. Oh no, it's automatic temperature unit automatic. We can keep it permanently on degrees and permanently on Fahrenheit, or it can change. Depends where we are. I'm going to keep it on degrees because I live in the UK and I can read it better. If we went into Germany or America, it probably was most likely America. If we could do an American train, it'll read as Fahrenheit. For me personally, I don't like Fahrenheit because it's hard to read the numbers. See, it all goes down to freezing temperature when water freezes is at 0 degrees. But if, and my American friends will correct me, freezing temperature in Fahrenheit is 24 Fahrenheit, and the numbers itself, it just to me it doesn't make sense. Like, the colder it is, it goes minus, like -1, -2, -3. and then the hotter it gets, it goes 1, 2, 3. It's better to, like you do accounting, so that's why I'm going to put the temperatures always at Celsius, not Fahrenheit. And in imperial system, I think, and the metric system is kilometers. No, because they always put the one what's most likely used around the world first. Like, the fact is, the Celsius is first because most of the world uses Celsius. It's only America and I think another country in Africa what uses Fahrenheit. So it's Celsius. The imperial system is kilometers, because most of the world uses kilometers. Only the UK and wait. Oh, there's one way to find out. Stick it to metric system. Metric system. The metric system. Oh no, we want. I want it to automatic. There's a reason why I want it automatic. The metric system is kilometers. That is, to me, that's similar to the temperature, where it goes different numbers first. The imperial system, what the UK and the US, so high five to us two, because this is where the rest of the world, I personally feel, gets it a bit wrong. Because when you start a car, it starts at 0, car's not moving, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9, faster and faster. It kind of like jumps with the metric system. And 1 mile, this was done by Queen Elizabeth I. I learned this by watching Horrible Histories when I was a kid. And 1 mile is 1,000 yards. Now I don't know what the hell a yard is. I think 1 yard is like one. So if it was like 0.01 yard, a 1 yard is like 1 footstep. So when I do a footstep and go 1, that's a yard. And then when I do 1,000 one of those, I've done a mile. I think that's it. Because when you're walking, if you do a stride in your foot and do 1 and count to 1 and you go slowly like 1, and you do that with your foot and you stretch your foot out, okay, I may be wrong, and probably most likely are, that is a yard. That's 0.01 is a yard. And when you get to because 1,000 yards is 1 mile. So you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, go on to 999, 1,000 and 1,000, because you can get 100 yards. Because let me come off. Did I say it right? Yeah. Oh, hold on a minute. I didn't change the miles per hour to auto. So I've got 11 miles until Reading, and when it goes down to 0.00, no, actually no, because it goes with the trains. No, wait, hold on a minute. When it does 0.05, so 5, no. When it goes, because actually, no, it goes, because it goes 1 mile, and then it goes 500 yards away, and then it starts counting down really quickly. You know, we have to see it. We have to find out when we get closer. So yeah, I've done auto because whenever I drive a train in Germany, they use kilometers, or the French one as well. And the auto would change it. If I'm using America or Britain, it will be miles an hour. If I'm doing the German or the French train, it'll go to kilometers. And I want to read it because if I switch it to the imperial system, then it will say you're doing 31 miles an hour, and I want it to be exactly what it says on the board. Yeah. I'm going to switch the gradient to this one because that's the one where it does percentages, not that. I don't know what country does that, but that's what I want to do because I can read percentages more. I haven't touched the settings in a while. With the next speed limit markers, first day me playing this game, I turn those off. That one, I don't know what it is, but I keep it off. Speed, the monitor thing on small, objection markers off, stopping marker off, next speed limit marker off, next signal marker off, next speed limit marker on the hub on the signal one off because I got the AWS. Next signal next signal it. Signal next signal asp. I know what that is on. I only want the ones on the HUD on, so the next speed limit is on, the signal one is off. Maybe turn that one off. I can always turn back on. And then these things here, I don't know what they do, but I'm keeping them on. Every time, what time we need to be right, the next thing's there, all of that on the right. and then thing there. Just want to have another quick check of a bit of OCD. Unit, I've kept it to auto. Temperature is Celsius because I'm from the UK. We use Celsius, and then percentages for that. Yeah, okay. Right, 11 miles to go. I want to keep an eye on that because apart from lowering down the speed, it does. I got 10 miles to go, and it does do. I think after 5 miles, it goes into yards. Or the miles are very quick with the trains. I don't know. That's one thing that's allured me. Put the camera down a bit so I can see the signal. See, it's done 9.7, 9.6, and that's counting down pretty quickly. Me thinking it's 9 miles and 4 yards to go. Or was that? No, that can't be right. Is that 9.2 miles? So 9. So now it says that's exactly 9 miles. I think it's the fact is because when it goes to double figures, like 10, 20, 11, whatever, it doesn't have the point. I haven't touched the settings in a while. I don't think I'll probably do it again. I think I've got all the settings I actually need set up. The only thing I would probably do is turn on signals when we're doing America. German ones I know, but I don't have the AWS, so I probably will turn them back on again. If I could figure out, unless the Germans have something similar to AWS, then I'll. But it's all in German, so have to learn a bit of Deutsch language, bit of Deutschland. Deutschland's the German word for German. So the English name for the country is Germany, or German is the language, and Deutschland is the German name for Germany. On all globes and Google Maps it will say Germany, but the people from Germany call it Deutschland. Like in our national anthem they sing Deutschland, Deutschland, I think Udalali or something like that. I don't think that is the actual national anthem, but they do say Deutschland twice. I don't know. So whenever Germany wins a gold medal at the Olympics, you always hear Deutschland, Deutschland, do 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 do. I know the tune. Do 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 do. And then they go and they sing all high pitched Deutschland, Deutschland. German's a lovely language. It could be aggressive but sexy at the same time. And also their words are very long and compound words, I think. Like the word for tank, what was the... I used to know the German word for tank. I forgot. It was a great word. I think about all the languages in the world, I think German's pretty easy to learn as well. I like the German language. Might like to learn that one. French and Spanish are quite hot. Well, French is a bit more easier than Spanish, but with French and Spanish they have male and female words. So I've learned two Spanish words, niño and niño, and I'm probably cocking that part up already. Right, but they have, I think niña is girl, niño is boy, and that's okay if you're saying boy or girl, but then they always put the female and the male things, like car. We always describe cars like, oh, she's a beauty. So they always put French and Spanish, Spanish. They always have male and female words. So things, if they're masculine or feminine, they'll put it in the word itself. But with German, they don't do that. They're like us. We say what the words are. Now English, oh, speaking English is totally easy because I'm doing it right now. Spelling English is really hard. I find it harder because of dyslexia, but a non-English speaking person will find English is the hardest language in the world. After, I think English is the hardest language in the world. And when I mean English, I think I'm rightly saying British English. American English is a bit more simple. Oh mate, we've got some lights coming up, give me a minute. Put the brakes on. Takes a bit of time to slow down. So you're up 0.9. That's like 9 yards. 8 yards. I think that's still miles. 0.7 miles doesn't make any sense to me. Now it's going yards, so it was miles because YD means yards, so 700 yards. It's counting down quickly. I will just focus on this a second, guys. We can talk more on the platform. So it is 0.5 miles, but it did go 900. So yeah, 1,000 yards goes into 1 mile, but it's, I don't know what the 0.9, a ninth of a mile. That bit I'm a bit confused on. Like, until we have to stop at red to get to the red light down there, we've got 252 and counting down as we approach yards. I think 1 yard is 1 footstep. Maths. Just gonna pick up the speed a bit. Just the fact is we're slowing down because we've got a bit of a heavy load. And we just want to stop at the end of the platform. Because we'll be stopping soon and the old driver probably doesn't want our window. I'll just... there we go. Close that up and put that up. He probably... the next driver who's going to take my place, he will sort it... if he's glare in his eye or he wants a bit of breeze, he will do it himself. But as nice as I am, just going to close the window up. Also, we're getting out of the cab and switching so someone could just like throw themselves into the window and take off with the train. So yeah. Highly unlikely because it is a bit of a, you have to really jump in and, you know, do a proper Olympic, you know, jump through. But it's a pretty skinny window actually, so who knows. They always say to like roll up your windows when you're stopping, so no one, you know, clambers in and stuff. When we get to what's at the end of it? I'm just gonna let the if it goes to a complete stop, then it does. But when it gets to 20, I think I'll. Just a wee bit of brakes, just stop there. Right, the scores on the doors are 4,230. Right, driver's here. Keep that open for him or her. See ya. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 shipping containers, all filled up with PS5s. I wish. So off that goes. What was I saying? German. Yeah. So German language doesn't have he or she's. Oh yeah, English. Speaking English, I can do that well. Nailing it. Writing and spelling is really hard, and English is the British English. I think American English is slightly a bit more easy because they simplify words a lot. I think when the colonials get independence from us, they made it. They thought, "God damn, these words are too hard." Excuse my any Americans watching with my stereotypical accent. Let's make them easier. And so they made words easier, but they're still reasonably hard. So yeah, Mandarin Chinese is the most popular language after English, before English, sorry. So you got Mandarin, then English. Even though the most of the world, Australia, New Zealand, parts of Africa, parts of Asia, America, Canada, United Kingdom, Ireland, speak English. Mandarin Chinese is number one. I think bits of, I think, well, Lao, I think they might speak Mandarin. Malaysia thinks they speak Malaysian actually. China is so big and very full of popular, and Taiwan as well. China, Taiwan. I think the only ones to speak Mandarin, and then they're so big, and they've got so many people in that country that's why it's number one. Like Indians number two, but that country is big, but there's a lot of people in it. I it should be English is the number one language of the world, you know. But yeah, yeah. So writing English and even like learning English, and spelling it. Like if you're foreign and you're learning English, it's also hard to pronounce, not just hard to spell, and hard to write, because now if you think, because there's loads of ways of spelling words. Like there's, for example, there's two, and two. There's the number two, there's the two do something, and there's two, there were two, or there too many. So there's T-O, T-O-O, and T-W-E is how you spell the number two. And then there's like C, and C. I see with my eyes. He sees something, and the sea. Okay, and also the reason why it's so hard to pronounce English. You know, anyone, you know, American, Australian, New Zealand, whatever, we can speak it fine. You know, we do it every day. But for some foreign people, it's hard to speak it because you've got a lot of, especially British English, there's a lot of is's and it's and ifs and theirs and what's and where's and how's and who's and all that sound there. So they and a can be a ph or th or an fh, and the syllables themselves, like the and them and there and is and is, it's really hard on pronunciation. It's pretty hard. Now with like Mandarin and Japanese and Korean, it's pretty hard for us English people and probably the world, because they got symbols, and you have to know what each symbol and squiggles and what they all mean. And like Arabic is probably really hard because they also have like squiggly writing. The Arabic is all like curves and stuff, and the symbols in Arabic and stuff. So, and dots and stuff. So it's really hard to read. Also with Arabic, I think it's Arabic. It could be Hindi. They don't write on the left like we do, left to right. They write on the other side of the page, and they write backwards from right to left. So that's pretty hard, but I suppose it's just adapted. So if you're right-handed, it makes it easy, you know. if you're left-handed like me, you're like stretching over the page. You know. Also, like, I've got a massive fly in this house. With buzzing around. Hate flies. Who doesn't like flies? Being left-handed is another thing, is smudging. If I have ink or the pen is very liquidy, I'll put my hand down and smudge all the words. So I have to have dry pens, not like dry ink pens, but like less inky, or graphite, you know. Or as my palm of my hand smudges. That's one of the things of, you know. That's probably why they always said that back in the day, right up into the Victorian times, that left-handed people were devils. It's the devil's hand, because you used to use quill and ink. Before the invention of pencils, used to have ink. You used to have ink pens. You used to have a quill and ink, and you have to write things out. It's probably a reason why they would call it the devil hand. They probably just, over time, they made it up as, oh, the devil's hand, you know, especially in the, I think, Christian and Catholic Church. Because if you've written with that, one, not many people are left-handed, and two, I'm trying to find my fly swatter, I can't find it. One, not many people are left-handed, and two, you smudge all the ink and stuff. I think it was more of, I bet you anything, it started with an insult. Oh, use your right hand, you know, you're going to get ink everywhere, it's making a devil's mess. And over time it became probably the devil's hand. And then, of course, during like during Edwardian, George the Fifth, George the Sixth, and then modern day, right near World War One, the New Jordan period. So, see, I go by through time, news and time of kings and queens. So, I know my history by knowing what king and queen is at the throne. So I know what the year is by knowing who the kings are, because when Queen Victoria was on the throne, for example, they called it the Victorians, and the Victorian era. When Edward, her son, was on the throne, they called it the Edwardians. And when it came to George the Fifth and Sixth, they called it the New Georgian period, because he used to have George 1 to 4. And then now we're in the Elizabethan age because of Queen Elizabeth, and then when she became Queen, new Elizabethan age. So sorry, just have to explain that. But yeah, around about World War One time period is when they stop cursing people for being left-handed, because back in the Victorian times, in Victorian schools, if you were left-handed, and also in the workplace as well, most of the machinery were designed by right-handed people, and they also did Bible studies, and they're very heavy Christian back in the Victorian times. So history-wise, that was in the last century, the last 2 centuries ago. We're in the 21st. Is it the 21st century we're in? But the 20th century is from 1990 to 2000, in the 21st century, because the way how centuries work, they always do it by the next century. So when it goes the year 2101, it will be the 22nd century, because it will count on for the next century. That's how centuries work. So during that time, a lot of the machines were right-handed, and I'm just gonna pause this so we don't have background noise. A lot of the machines are right-handed, and they taught in schools that you had to use your right hand. It was the devil's hand. They forced kids to not use the left hand, otherwise you're going to hell. And I think during the Edwardian World War II times, they eased it up a bit because they used to whack children's hands. If they caught you using your left hand to write with in this country, back in those times, they used to whack you with a ruler. And they used to punish you and put you in detention and then cane you as well. Because corporal punishment was back then thing. And if you do anything wrong back in the Victorian times, it's very strict. And they used to hit children all the time. You know. And they used to thought, a child needs a good beating. I kind of some days agree with them. Of course, I would not recommend to hit any children, but some days you really feel that you want to knock some sense into them. Anyone who's watching this is a young parent or a new parent, to be precise. When you have those little kids screaming and yelling and crying and moaning and complaining, I bet you just want to hit them. Say, shut that up. Of course, you can't do that because that's child abuse. So don't hit children. The best thing to do with children is to be smart. Lie. It's better to, hurt them emotionally than physically, and just hope it doesn't affect them in later years, what normally does. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So yeah, a lot of them had to force into the right hand. So they eventually, some of them eventually, they were forced to write with the right hand, and then they said, "Oh, your handwriting's terrible. Write with, write better," because then there's a non-writing hat. I think that's why they got rid of it, because I think over time your writing got better because you learn to write with your other hand. Like people who lose their hand, so if you and had it amputated, they have to learn to write with their new hand, in a sense, or the hand they not like. If I lost my left hand, let's say frostbite, or it got blown off in a war scenario, I'll have to learn to write with my right hand. And at first, all my writing would be all squiggly and stuff, and it would look terrible. But over time, it would get better because your brain teaches yourself how to write. So, it's like with anything, it's to practice. So yeah, do you know what? I've gone on a complete rant. I always go into rants and talk about random shit all the time. Driving trains, like today, is like if you're not stopping at every station and not focusing on stopping at every station, if you're just doing a point to point, you kind of it gets a bit dull, and you go off on. That's when I start talking, or when I'm tired, that's when I start sleeping. You've probably watched some of my other videos, and you probably notice I'm very quiet. I'm not saying anything. We're just enjoying the route. And then today's like this. I just talk and talk and talk. I'm a talker. I don't shut up. So I totally forgot what I was saying about before. I think the conclusion is, oh yeah, language, yeah, pronouncing English language hard, German language sexy and scary at the same time. So that's the conclusion, that the German language, me personally, is the most sexy and terrifying language at the same time. Like, yeah. Right, I think I've chatted and rambled on enough as possible. I think we've done the conclusion now, so I think it's fair to say thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, wherever next time may be, most likely next Monday. Remember to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.